Have you ever felt like you were overlooked? Like you weren't the first choice? Not the favorite? Not the one everyone expected to succeed? If you've ever felt like you were second in line, then you need to hear this. There's a story in the Bible, in Genesis chapter 48, that shows us something powerful. God's blessing doesn't follow human order. It follows God's purpose. Let's set the scene. Jacob, the patriarch, is old. His eyesight is failing, and he knows his life is coming to an end. He calls for his favorite son, Joseph, who is now a powerful ruler in Egypt. Joseph brings his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, to their grandfather's bedside to receive a final blessing. Now, in this culture, the firstborn son always received the greater blessing. It was a rule of tradition everyone understood. Manasseh was the firstborn. Ephraim was the younger. The order was clear. Joseph positions his sons exactly as he should. Manasseh, the elder, at Jacob's right hand for the main blessing, and Ephraim, the younger, at his left. Everyone in the room knew what was supposed to happen next, but God had a different plan. As Jacob reaches out his frail hands to bless the boys, he does something completely unexpected. He crosses his arms. His right hand, the hand of greater blessing and authority, he places on the head of Ephraim, the younger son. His left hand he places on Manasseh, the firstborn. Joseph sees this and immediately thinks his father is making a mistake. He's old. He can't see well. He must be confused. So Joseph tries to correct him. He grabs his father's hand and says, "Not so, my father. This one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head." But Jacob refuses, and his response is chilling. He says, "I know it, my son. I know it." Think about those words. I know it. Jacob wasn't confused. His eyes might have been dim, but his spiritual vision was crystal clear. He wasn't making a mistake. He was following a divine instruction. He was operating under the direction of God. This single act was a declaration that God's ways are not our ways. This moment wasn't an isolated event. It was part of a pattern that echoes throughout the entire book of Genesis. God chose Abel's offering over Cain's. He chose Isaac over Ishmael. He chose Jacob himself over his older twin brother Esau. And now he chooses Ephraim over Manasseh. Time and time again, God subverts human expectations. He bypasses the first, the strongest, the most obvious choice to accomplish his sovereign will. Why? Because God's plan is not based on our birth order, our credentials, or our social standing. It's based entirely on his divine purpose and grace. So what does this mean for you and me? Right here, right now. Maybe you feel like you're always second best. You weren't the first to get the promotion. You weren't the first one chosen for the team. You look at your own life and feel like you don't have the right background, the right connections, or the right resume. You feel like you've been passed over. Genesis 48 is God's message to you. It says that his blessing is not limited by your position in line. God can reach across human systems, across traditions, across everyone's expectations, and place his hand of favor directly on you. He can choose you, even when the world says you're not the one. God sees the potential he placed inside you, even when others don't. But there's another beautiful layer to this story. In his final moments, Jacob doesn't just bless the boys. He passes down his testimony. He speaks over them about the God who has been his shepherd, his provider, his protector, his entire life. He says, "The God who fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil. Bless the lads." Jacob isn't passing down money, land, or possessions. He's passing down something infinitely more valuable. His personal history with a faithful God. He's essentially saying, the God who carried me through everything will be the same God who carries you. That is the greatest inheritance anyone can ever give or receive. It's a legacy of faith. This story is about more than just a surprising blessing. It's about the power of legacy. Before he leaves this world, Jacob makes sure the next generation knows who God is and what he has done, and God honors that faith. The blessing took root, and the tribe of Ephraim grew to become one of the largest and most prominent tribes in all of Israel, just as Jacob prophesied. So let this sink in. You may not feel like you're first in line. You may not look like the obvious choice to others, but that has never stopped God before. He can still cross his hands and put his blessing on you for his unique purpose. And if you have walked with God for years, remember, Tease, the greatest thing you can pass down to the next generation is not what you own, but your testimony of what God has done, because the same God who carried you will be faithful to carry them too. Thanks for watching. If this message encouraged you, please like and subscribe for more content that dives deep into the Word of God. See you next time.